So I recently took on a new client that basically I'm sharing with a good friend of mine. My friend being an e-commerce brand owner and us being essentially an agency, we partnered up together to help an app scale through paid advertising and performance creatives. Now, the start of this new partnership made me realize that there are various ways to attain success with ads. My friend has a very different way of media buying than we do, where he's all about broad, creating DCTs, and we're actually giving it a shot right now with our clients. Whereas internally, per some of the videos that you might have seen in the channel, we're more still on the interest-based audiences and still riding that wave. Meaning we still believe in audience testing as a variable to play with to improve our ads performances. But that's besides the point, because when talking with my friend, a topic came up about retargeting and how doing too much retargeting can actually negatively impact your LTV. And I thought this was the perfect concept for a YouTube video. So in today's video, I want to talk about why doing retargeting ads can impact negatively your customer lifetime value and why you should not overdo it, and maybe you don't even want to do retargeting at all with your paid ads. If you don't know who I am, my name is Justin and I'm the founder at Wazo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency helping 7- and 8-figure e-commerce brands scale through paid ads and creatives. So let's get right into it. As you can see on screen, I've just got a whiteboard opened up in front of me right here, and I wanted to do some very quick math with you as I'm more the visual type. So let's just say that your customer acquisition cost, right, your CAC, is somewhere along the lines of, again, let's just take a random brand here as an example. You have an AOV right now of about $70, and there you go, $70. Or actually, I keep forgetting that we're talking to a US audience, so let me do the dollar sign before the actual numbers. So $70 AOV. You have a CAC of, let's just say, 20 bucks. So it's costing you about 20 bucks to get a brand new customer for the first time. Let me actually do NCAC just so we're a little bit more talking about, new customers specifically, not just acquisition costs for a purchase. So your new customer acquisition is about 20 bucks. Your AOV is about 70 bucks. So now if you're going to calculate your new customer ROAS on their first order, it'd simply be, AOV divided by 20 bucks, right? In this case. So it'd be 70 divided by 20 would be your new customer ROAS right here. So if we do that right there, our new customer ROAS is of 3.5. So let's just go here, 3.5 is new customer ROAS. But here's the thing. So now let's just talk about lifetime value, right? Your customer lifetime value, however you want to put it. Let me just go like this. Customer lifetime value is, let's just say, $150. So that means that throughout time, your customer will come back an average of 2.1, 2.2 times back to your website, right? Assuming that you still are maintaining an AOV of about 70 bucks. So it's costing you 20 bucks to acquire a customer, and your customer lifetime value is about $150. So now, if we're calculating your true new customer ROAS and we benchmark it, instead of benchmarking it on the AOV, we calculate that on the customer lifetime value, then it comes down to the following. What we do in this case is 150 bucks divided by this right here, your NCAC, right? Which would be, basically, let's just write NCAC right here, which would be, as we know, 20 bucks. So here we're left down with 150 divided by 20. Would be 7.5 in this case. So we're left with a 7.5 multiple on your acquisition cost for getting a new customer to your business. For the sake of simplicity, let me just change the numbers to actually 140 bucks customer lifetime value and a 7x right here. It's just gonna be easier for us to go through these next calculations. So on average, a customer comes back basically twice, or actually once more after the first purchase, right? They buy twice in their lifetime from your brand, okay? So again, this is just for simplicity's sake. So with that said, let's say in this case, you're actually running retargeting ads. So this first example, you're not, right? Because again, you acquired that customer and you did not run any other ads. That customer came back either through your emails or organic, which are much lower in costs. So right here, a customer comes back. So let's just say, for the sake of it, your CPA on that second order, because that customer came from a retargeting ad, the purchase again, is about $16, right? It's a little lower because they already know your brand. So it's not gonna take you as much convincing, right, to get that customer. So it's costing you 16 bucks to get that second purchase from that customer. So now if we look at that second purchase right here, right? So let's just take a look at the ROAS. We still have an AOV of 70 bucks. So in this case, we're gonna go 70 divided by 16. So 70 divided by 16 right here is going to be a ROAS of, let's just say 4.38 right there. So 4.38 ROAS. Now, wow, I've got a better ROAS, right? But then you're going to say, obviously, Justin, I got a better ROAS. It's retargeting. That customer already knows me. Therefore, it's going to be easier for me to get him to purchase back. And you're absolutely right. You're obviously going to get a better ROAS if you're retargeting. But now let's look how this is affecting your lifetime value. Because right here, your acquisition cost for that same customer has just gone from $20 to $36. And he's only going to purchase twice, right? So you have, again, the same customer lifetime value of $140, but now instead of paying $20 for it, you've paid $20 to acquire him for the first time and $16 to get him to buy a second time. So in that case, again, if we just divide that, it's going to be divided by 36 right here. So you're going to go from a 7x on lifetime value now to here if we're doing the math. So $140 divided by $36 that you spent on that customer, you're going to 3.8. So you're almost slashing your costs here, or your profits on that customer by about half, just because you ran retargeting ads to that same customer. Now, am I saying here to never run retargeting ads? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just demonstrating the impact of your retargeting ads on lifetime value. How doing too much retargeting can just negatively impact through time your LTV. Because that is a very simple calculation that we did right here with an average of 2 purchases at $140. But if you keep on going with more purchases, right, and potentially that's, you might notice that it's an average order of 2.5 orders, in their lifetime the customers will place. It's $140. So AOV is maybe going down through time, right? Then that calculation would actually impact it in an even more negative way. So this, again, is just an example for this video's sake. And also something worth mentioning is that although organic doesn't have any sort of inherent cost when it comes to, posting stuff on there, right? Because it's free to post, whereas an ad, you have to pay to get the ad live up and running. There are still costs associated with it, right? You have to pay a graphic designer or a content manager for it. If it comes down to emails, right, you have to pay your email softwares. You might have to pay also an agency or an in-house person to run your emails. So there's obviously a cost per acquisition, or a cost per, purchase would be the best way to put it, even with email and organic, which you're free to calculate in-house, and this will still nonetheless impact your LTV through time, but not as much as ad would. So with that being said, the lesson of this video is just a demonstration of why you should primarily focus on acquisition with your ads rather than retargeting. That is, given that that's the clients or the brand, if you're the brand yourself listening to this, is doing enough organic and email to get people to retarget. If you have a very solid email strategy and a very solid organic strategy, then obviously focus your ads on acquisition. Now, there are specific cases where smaller brands, or some of the brands even that we work with, literally have 0 to very minimal emails being sent on their end. Organic is pretty much non-existent. They're doing nothing organic wise. So ads are kind of playing both the front and back end role in the customer journey. So that's slightly different. But for most brands that are healthy watching this video, you want to focus your ads on acquisition because of that calculation right here. You don't want to negatively impact your LTV, and that is considering here the scenario that I showed in this video is only if the second purchase was entirely influenced by ads, which is most likely not the case. If they've purchased a second time, they probably also got an email. They probably also saw your organic posts. So if that's the case, then you paid for them 2 or 3 times at this point, because you paid your email team to send that same person an email. You paid your content manager to get them, to get your audience to see a piece of content organically. And you've paid for that customer once to acquire them through ads, and again now to get them to convert once more through ads. So it's just you're paying for that customer so many times over and over again that it just becomes unprofitable at some point. So once again, lesson of this video is that focus primarily on acquisition, given that you have a healthy funnel on the back end and that your retention is dialed in. So with that being said, you've got 3 options at the end of this video. Either you can continue on watching some other videos that might be linked in the description down below, or that will be popping up on screen in the next few minutes. Or if you're an e-commerce brand making at least $50,000 a month with your brand, then check out the description below and book in a call with our agency. And if you're an e-commerce brand a little smaller, right, you're just getting started, you are making less than $50,000 a month, or you're an advertiser who just wants mentorship and help from an agency without the fees, also check out the description down below and check out PCAT, which is our Done With You consulting program. On that note, I'm gonna wish you guys an awesome day and talk to you in the next video. Peace.